My smile consultant told me what it would cost me for my situation. I was a little surprised, and my immediate response was, okay, well, thank you for your time. This has been very informative, you know?
Were there things you did to make making those payments a little bit easier for you?
Oh, absolutely. It made a huge and significant difference to my bank account. I was like, hey, I might be able to do this. This is something I can do.
Like many people, Bishop thought paying for dental implants would be impossible, but he made it happen. And he's here to share how and whether it was worth it 3 years later. Bishop, are you ready to dive in?
Thank you so much. I am ready to go. Yeehaw! Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's dive in. Okay, Bishop, before we dive into how you paid for your dental implants, was cost something that you were worried about at the very beginning?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, who wouldn't be? You know, I literally had just started a new job as a mailman with the post office. And so it was a huge concern of mine, but I just know that it had to be done.
Being that you just started a new job, you're not sure what the future might hold, budgeting might have been a little part of your thought process. Why did you decide to go with dental implants versus dentures? Because dental implants can be pricier than dentures.
This may be true. And if I'm being completely honest with you, I hadn't even considered dental implants. I was thinking more so along the lines of dentures. My mom has dentures, and so I thought that that might be the way for me to go as well until I found Nuvia.
Until you found Nuvia. Okay. So you opted not to go with dentures. You chose to get dental implants at Nuvia, you just said. What was it about Nuvia that made you decide that was the place versus all the other options out there?
For me, it was the whole walk in on a Monday, walk out on a Tuesday with a brand new smile. Like within 24 hours, you could have a whole brand new permanent smile. And it was a no-brainer for me.
Wow. Okay. So it sounds like the process at Nuvia is really what made you decide to go there
Absolutely.
versus going somewhere else. Tell me more about this 24-hour process, like you just mentioned. You said, I walk in on a Monday, I walk out with teeth on a Tuesday. Did you actually get permanent teeth in 24 hours?
I did. And to my surprise, like that was a game changer. Considering I had literally just started a new job, I was concerned. I was worried about whether I would have paid time off or sick leave or any of that to be able to get this done. Well, with the post office, we have what they call a 5-day break-in service. So at the end of the first and or your second calendar year, you have to take a mandatory 5-day break. And so it literally the stars just lined up for me to be able to get this done. I saw that it was something that I could actually do, and I went ahead and moved forward to get it done. It literally just worked out the way it was supposed to work out. So I was grateful for that.
Let's get to how you were able to pay for this. I know you said you started a new job. Budgeting was a little bit of a concern.
Mhm.
The timing worked out great.
It did.
When you walked into Nuvia, what did you find out right away about how much this cost, if you could do payment plans? Walk me through that initial consultation.
So during my initial consultation, I had no knowledge that I could actually set up a payment plan right off the rip. My smile consultant told me what it would cost me for my situation. And my immediate response was, okay, well, thank you for your time. This has been very informative, you know? But before I could even stand to my feet to even try to exit stage left, he says, well, what if I told you that we have payment plans available? And I've already run the numbers, and this is what we found for you. He had found several companies to be able to get me finance, and I chose the three that I wanted and said, okay, well, let's do this. Let's go.
Wow. Okay. Did you have sticker shock or was it more about this? It wasn't something you were planning.
It wasn't really sticker shock, I'll say. And I did have, a small little nest egg in my savings account, but I hadn't really anticipated needing it for this. So when he told me what my price would be, I was a little surprised. But
That's fair,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because sometimes people aren't planning for this. Like you said, maybe they were thinking about dentures and then found out they could be a candidate for this.
Exactly.
Some people aren't planning for it, or they don't understand that this is a big procedure, right?
Exactly.
So
Exactly. But once he told me what my finance options were, I was even more surprised because at that point I realized that I was like, hey, I might be able to do this. This is something I can do. And I kid you not, I couldn't think of anything else. Once I left that man's office, I couldn't think of anything else for like almost an entire week.
you were really excited.
Uber excited, over excited. I can't even supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I couldn't think of anything else. Every day I would wake up, I could have had my smile. You know?
Really? Okay, so you knew you could have the procedure in 24 hours.
Mhm.
You knew your exact cost, but you also knew you could do payment plans that you were comfortable with.
Mhm.
So after you left the consultation, you said, let me think about this. But then you literally were like, as every day went by, you're like, oh, it could have been today. I could have had teeth. Like that's how you felt.
I did. When I left from that Nuvia office, from that consultation, I don't know what it is, but I was taken aback by the fact that I could have a brand new smile and a brand new outlook on life within 24 hours. So every day I woke up, that's all I could think about. I could have got my smile today. I could have got my smile today. Every day I went to sleep, I could have got my smile today for almost a week. And so I finally said, okay, well, let me just go ahead and do it. I might as well just go ahead and do it. I,
And now you got your smile
and
today.
now I've got my smile today.
Since we are still talking about how you paid for it, and that's a big thing that people have questions about, is the cost. When they quoted you your monthly payment, did that monthly payment ever change? Or was the payment you got up front exactly what happened as time went on?
Everything coincided with everything. The number that he gave me for how much it would cost me, one number, all inclusive, like everything was included in that number. So the payment breakdown between the couple of companies that I chose to get financed with, it all added up. And I realized that I was able to do it and get them paid off quickly at that. So it literally worked out for me.
What are some of the feelings you had knowing you got an all-inclusive price, you wouldn't get hit with these random bills down the road, and that everything, the math was mathing? How did that make you feel?
Oh, absolutely elated and excited and overjoyed and just a wealth of emotions. I didn't know how to feel because I realized that this is something that I could actually get done. I was an emotional wreck, to be honest with you. And I say that because I went from spending many sleepless nights with a toothache to now having sleepless nights like I could have gotten my smile by now. I could have my smile by now. I should have gotten my smile yesterday, you know? So it was at that point, it was a no-brainer. I was like, I have to go ahead and do this. I have to move forward.
Did you feel like Nuvia was honest and transparent with you?
I did. I felt like Nubia was very honest and transparent. And it's weird because my first initial step into that office for my smile design and consultation, I was Mr. Skeptical. I was Mr. Skeptical from the time I walked through the door and to the time I got ready to leave. But I realized at that consultation, once he broke down the numbers, that's when I felt comfortable. That's when I felt like Nubia was a very trustworthy company, and
I need a team.
yeah, that's it. It's it. They had my back. They had my back. They called me by my name from the time I walked in.
And your front, by the way. They had your front too.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
If someone's watching right now and they're curious about what a payment plan could look like for them, what would you want to tell them?
I would definitely tell them to click the link below and download that cost guide.
Okay, so Nuvia's payment options made this affordable for you. And I feel like that's going to give a lot of people watching right now some hope and peace of mind that, yes, maybe this is something that they can afford too. But you still had to make those monthly payments
This is true.
and do it on a budget, right? New job. So were there things you did to help you manage that, or any changes you made in your life to make making those payments a little bit easier for you?
Oh, absolutely. One of the main things that I did was I actually quit smoking cigarettes. So that was life changing. It made a huge and significant difference to my bank account. I would smoke on average, I'd say a pack of cigarettes every other day. 7 days in a week, so I'm looking at maybe 5 packs of cigarettes a week. At
Okay.
at $10 a pack, that's $50 a week. That's $200 a month. Just going up in smoke, literally.
Literally going up in flames.
Literally going up in flames.
And never mind, obviously, the negative impact on your health.
Exactly, exactly, and all of the other complications that it could lead to. So, a little bit challenging to start, but I was happy to do it because it's something that I'd considered doing for a very long time. Like, I know smoking isn't necessarily the best healthy option, but it was all about my health. It was all about, being the best version of myself that I could possibly be. So, this was the catalyst that I needed to get this done.
I love that. You're like, I want to make a big change in my life. I thought about dentures, saw my mom struggle, decided to go with implants that could happen so quickly.
Indeed.
And then you saw an opportunity to almost trade something that wasn't good for you, to be able to more easily do something that would change your whole life.
Exactly, and so when I found out, that I had options to get this done and that I was able to get this done, it was a no-brainer. I'm like, "Okay, I have to quit smoking. The last thing I wanna do is void the warranty on these babies," you know? But this was more important to me. My health was more important. My overall sense of well-being was more important, so I was happy to do it.
Sweet. Well, congratulations.
And
That's a huge
it
accomplishment.
is, it is.
Was there any other small changes you made in your day-to-day life to also free up some extra money for those payments?
A few. Absolutely. I certainly, cut out a lot of the sweets because I have a wicked sweet tooth, no pun intended. And I cut out sweets, I cut out a lot of the fast food, and I mean, to be honest with you, even the cigarette smoking saved me an average of about $200 a month.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's a lot.
that is a lot.
That's probably helpful for people to hear who maybe don't even realize how much things like that can add up. And I'm someone who enjoys a little fast food, a little Chick-fil-A, a little Starbucks run here and there. But if you go back and look at your credit card statements, I try not to. That stuff really adds up. You can spend hundreds of dollars a month because you're paying again for the convenience.
This is true. That it adds up like the calories do. So,
You aren't lying. Well, you made some changes, but you stuck to the plan.
Yes.
You were able to move forward and get your beautiful new smile at Nuvia.
Yes.
What was it like? Take me back to that moment when you saw your new smile for the very first time.
Physical reaction for me, especially with my local Nuvia team, was instant sarcasm. I felt myself trying to tear up, but I wasn't gonna let them see me like that. You know what I mean? So I had nothing but sarcasm for them. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, okay, all right. You guys think you're fresh, huh? I'm gonna have to go fight somebody off with a stick at this point. You know what I mean? How did you manage this in 24 hours? But I was over the moon. I was absolutely elated. Because I hadn't seen myself like that in so long, with a full set of permanent teeth. You know,
How many years had it been since you saw yourself with a full set of beautiful teeth?
well over 10 years, easy. You know, every time I had a toothache or something would wake me up in the middle of the night. Okay, I've got to get to some kind of over the counter medication just so I could go to sleep, and then would make an appointment with the dentist. Go see the dentist. They pull it, so it was a nice little band-aid approach. To the point to where I was missing teeth on either side, but now that you pulled this tooth, I feel better over here, but now the pain has moved over here. So it literally, to see myself with a full set of teeth and know that I would be able to get some sleep at night and not have to endure sleepless nights and pain anymore. It was epic. It was amazing. It was one of the best emotions I could have felt in so long.
I feel like getting your permanent teeth brought you back to like the best version of that bishop. Am I right?
You're absolutely right about that, yeah. I spent so many years of my life hiding my smile, not even being able to enjoy conversations like this, you know what I mean, without, covering my face or, head down so that you couldn't see what was going on, and so to be able to know that I would be able to maintain, eye contact and engage in conversation and be able to smile and emote and feel things, especially being a mailman. Like I'm in people's faces all day, every day on my route. So I have to be able to interact with the general public. I'm going in and out of businesses. I have to be able to interact with people. And it was absolutely embarrassing for that first year, not knowing, that I would be able to get this done in 24 hours.
I didn't even think about that. You were just in a new job and you had all these dental problems and you were trying to show up and be the best version of yourself with what you had to work with. And I know you nailed it because they kept you after the first year.
Yeah.
But what a life change, chapter change to take that 5-day break that you mentioned, get a little Bishop tune up, and then like go back to your colleagues and your root and your all the people you interacted with, like this new and improved, like Superman Bishop.
Can I tell you this? I didn't even tell anyone, not even my mom. I didn't tell, and the only person I told was my friend who brought me in for surgery day, And so to be able to go back to the post office after that 5-day break in service and have people say there's something different about you, I can't put my finger on it, but there's something different about you. And I'm like, I wonder what it could be. It was a great feeling.
Maybe he went on vacation.
Exactly.
He looks more rested.
You look refreshed.
More.
Right. You look refreshed. Your skin is glowing. What is it about you?
You are actually making me think of a question I hadn't planned to ask you, but I do want to ask you because many people are concerned that people are going to know I have implants. They're going to say my teeth look fake, things like that. I'm sitting across from you. Your teeth are beautiful, but did anybody ever just say, did you get implants or did you just get people complimenting your smile?
No, and it was the weirdest thing. I did start getting more compliments on my smile. But for those who knew me and have known me for years, they could tell that it was something different. They just didn't know what it was.
Wow.
And consider I spent so many years hiding my smile, and I mastered the art of ventriloquism. You know, I could throw my voice from here to across the room without having to open my mouth or move my lips. So I mastered that.
Hey, if the post office doesn't work out, I mean, now you're going to have a side job, but now I feel like you wouldn't want to hide your teeth.
No, not at all.
Oh, I love that.
No.
That's great because people do worry about that. Well, it's been 3 years since you've gotten your brand new 24-hour smile. I have to ask, has anything gone wrong or have there been any added expenses or changes in what they told you it would cost from the beginning?
Not at all. I haven't experienced any pain or discomfort in the 3 years since getting it done. And as I stated earlier, the numbers that they gave me are the numbers that they gave me, including with my finance options and my payment plans. Like, there are no hidden costs or anything like that. They didn't come back, after 6 months to say, "Oh, by the way, we forgot to charge you this." No, literally, my payments haven't changed at all. They've been very manageable for me, and I feel great about it. I would do it again if I had to. And for added peace of mind, Nuvia does offer a warranty. So I was really glad to hear that.
Nice. You know Nuvia will be there if you need them in the future.
Nuvia absolutely has my back if I need to in the future.
Bishop, how has your life really changed 3 years later after making this investment in yourself? And has it been worth it?
It's absolutely been worth it. It's been a game changer. Just the fact that I'm able to get some sleep at night. No more sleepless nights. I'm able to eat whatever it is I want. I'm able to enjoy some of my favorite foods like steak nachos.
Ooh, I've had steak and I've had nachos. I have not had steak nachos.
You should definitely have steak nachos.
You available?
Yeah.
Let's get some.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, just the overall sense of confidence, you know what I mean? Like, I am a completely different person than I was just a few years ago. So I have Nuvia to thank for that.
Well, I love the energy that I'm getting from you today. And I didn't know the Bishop before. I've loved meeting the Bishop now, but it does remind me of another patient's story. A patient named Marcus shared that after he got his dental implants, he immediately thought, if you met me before, you need to re-meet me now. Do you feel that way?
I do. Of course, I do. Of course I do. It's life-changing, just being able to go from an old version of yourself to a new and improved version of yourself. And Nuvia definitely will help bring that out of you with a new set of teeth in 24 hours. Like, who would have thought?
Well, it's been a pleasure to talk with you and to have this time to share your story with people out there who may be considering dental implants themselves. And if someone is interested and wants more information about the same place that you got yours done, where can they find that information?
They can definitely find that information by clicking the link below and reading through that cost guide.
Sweet. Well, until next time,
Keep
keep
smiling.
smiling.